All right, so good afternoon, everybody. My name is Unica Walcott, and thank you for joining us for Career Conversations. Today, I'd like to introduce Miss Raina J. Barnes. She's a professional mariner, and I want to jump right in. Um, Raina, thank you for joining me. What does your family think you do when you tell them what your career is?
um, so the things that I've had replayed back to me is that I'm in the Navy. I'm in the Coast Guard. Let's see what else. Navy, Coast Guard. I work on cruise ships.
You work on cruise.
Captain. Um, what else? Navy, Coast Guard, cruise ships. Uh, Fishing boats. Fishing boats. Let's not forget that. And I had an uncle that pretty much just thought I was gonna be Gordon Fisherman for the rest of my life. Yeah, and
So,
that's pretty much.
so fisherman, cruise ship, Navy, Coast Guard, something over there. That's kind of what you get.
That's the.
So what do you actually do as a professional mariner?
So I am a deck officer on the Great Lakes. So that's up there between Canada, Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Indiana, and Illinois. And I go between second mate and first mate, and I stand navigation watches. I'm also a first class pilot, so I do river watches and navigate between the St. Mary's River, Detroit River, St. Clair's River. Um, I hold the con, so I am not the one steering the boats, but I am the one telling them where to steer the boat.
Okay.
I also do cargo watches, so pretty much making sure the boat's getting loaded and unloaded correctly and safely.
Oh, cool. So you mentioned first mate and second mate. Like, what is that, and what is like the difference?
Okay, so when you come into the industry with a license, you can come in as a third mate, and the third mate is the first tier. Then you promote up to second mate, then first mate, and depending if you're deep sea or not, you do chief mate, and then captain. And so each mate has a license. And that's the same way on the engineering side, where you could come in third assistant engineer, second assistant engineer, first, then chief engineer.
Oh, cool. And so you mentioned deep sea versus, I guess, river. Like, what are the major differences there for people who have no idea?
So deep sea is being able to cross the oceans. You're
Okay.
you're out of the United States boundaries.
Okay, so out of the waters of the U.S.
Yes. Then um for the
Sort of inland.
yes, for the inland, you stay inside and you can pretty much go up and down the rivers. You're staying near the shore, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
You'll be like, we're usually no more than 30, maybe sometimes 40 miles offshore or off land.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so you it's a little bit different. There's different parameters. You got a different license, different credentials. Because the United States Coast Guard is the one that is the licensing body for mates and engineers and captains.
Okay. That's pretty cool. So waters of the U.S. versus deep sea, sort of, are the options. That's really cool. How did you get into this role?
Well, I needed a college to go to, and so I needed a college to go to, and I was looking through that's the Princeton College Review book,
Uh-huh.
and I went to all girls high school, so I wanted to go to a school that was not all girls. And
Wow, that's
I was like, let's switch it up. And my dad was in the military, my older brother was in the military, so I was like, maybe I'll do the military. And I also like logistics and stuff like that. So I said, okay, let me look through the book and see what I'm gonna land on. And United States Merchant Marine Academy was in the book. So I looked at They're called Kings Point for short. So I looked at Kings Point, and then I found that there's more academies in the country that were like it, that were not federal, but more state colleges. And I applied to everything. I was applying. Applied to every college that had that major, the marine transportation and logistics major. Only boat I've been on was a ferry. Never went fishing. I wasn't one of those girls.
Wait, you never went fishing, but then you decided you wanted to be a professional mariner.
Yes.
Ooh.
Let's see. My first time really on a ship was my first summer sea term as a cadet at SUNY Maritime College.
Okay, so you got to tell me about this first summer. How was this?
So, being a deck license at SUNY Maritime College, you have to do summer sea terms to get your sea experience. So, my first 45 days on the boat, I had to do 45 days, and we left the Bronx and started pulling away. And I'm with the rest of my classmates, and I'm standing there like shaking, like literally shaking. And this cadet from Maine was on the ship with us, and he was like, "You okay?" Yeah. I don't even know what it felt like to pull away from a dock. So, and all we had was email. We didn't have cell phone because at least I didn't have the cell phone ability to call in across seas because we had to cross the Atlantic Ocean. We hit a storm. I was seasick the whole entire time. Bouncing and rolling and bouncing and rolling. I was emailing my mother like, please get me off. I don't want to do this anymore. I changed my mind. I gotta go.
So what made you stick with it after such a crazy first experience? You said, get me off this thing.
Like they always tell you it's not that bad. Just keep going. It's not that bad. So I stuck with it. I got through the first 45. I survived. I had fun, traveled the world, was with my friends. I met some good mates that inspired me a little bit to keep going. And then my second summer, I was a cadet. So I did an internship on the Great Lakes with my company.
Oh, wow.
So that was wonderful. That was a whole different experience. It was the crew was amazing. I learned a lot. So it pretty much sealed the deal for me. Like, okay, I'm coming back up here when I'm finished. When I'm ready to sail, this is where I'm going. And then the third summer, I did 101 days on my school ship again. And we went to different ports, different countries. This time I'm a senior. I'm a first class. So it was a little bit different than being a little freshman mug type. So I was still with my friends, with my classmates, who once again had a bunch of mates and captains working with us that were all great and, pushing us along. So yeah,
it sounds like you have like a lot of really good mentors along the way that helped you get through this process.
Yes.
What did you learn from your mentors that was a game changer for you?
I was definitely blessed to have, and I'm still blessed to have people come into my life. And they don't even know, it's not even on purpose to be mentors, but they're coming into my life and they speak into me. I had a mate that was on my traineeship. In my whole college career, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it.
The whole time.
Until I walked across the stage. I just told somebody this the other day. I didn't know I was going to make it until I walked across that stage. It was like, oh my God. So I had a mate that was from the Bronx. He was a captain on a deep sea ship, and he was standing watch with us. And I guess I must have looked bewildered, and I was a senior. And he was like, don't worry, you'll get through it. You from the same area I'm from. Because he grew up like 2 blocks up from me or whatever. And
wow.
Like, wow, who would have known? And he's like, you got this. And just little stuff you tell a struggling college student to motivate them. But that really helped me.
That's beautiful.
I've had people tell me, I had a captain, I had mates on the ship with me now who, when I first started, they were like, okay, you want to go up to captain. So get to it. Like, come on. Um, I had my parents, of course, who pushed me every step of the way. My mother and father. They tag team me sometimes.
What was that like?
It was. My mom's always been big about thinking out of the box. This is how I got here because it was with her that I was making this decision. My father was big on making what I got is for me. What I have is for me. Nobody can take it away. So make sure to stick to it. So I got my captain's license at the beginning of this year, and I was kind of dragging my feet on studying for it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I was dragging my feet on studying for it, and they were both in the same room at the same time, and was pretty much like, "Well, what are you gonna do?" Well, yeah, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna study? You need to study, and it's okay.
Yeah, both your parents are saying, "Hey, you got to get it done." It's not really a negotiation.
Not even with like grad school. I was deciding on going to grad school or not when I was coming out of college, and my mom pretty much told me, "I will call you every single day to remind you you did not go to grad school if you don't go to grad school." So
she said, "I will call you every day."
So like, let me send the application right now.
So you decided to go to grad school. How was that?
Right after undergrad, I went straight into grad school. I was working on campus as a licensing assistant. So I was helping others get their license and send them in and stuff. And I was doing my graduate program, working towards my Master of Science in International Transportation Management.
Wow.
So I knew, you always want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row for whatever decision you want to make in life. You don't want to have to rush to get ready. So that was a great process. School, I'm still at my college, so I was just flowing with. I knew my teachers, I knew my professors, I knew how to go through the academic system at my school. Sometimes it takes a long time for somebody to get used to going through the academic system and maneuvering it so that you're getting the best opportunities. So I was glad I did it. I haven't used it as intensely in my career now on a ship, on a vessel. Not directly, but there are stuff that I've taken away from it that I can apply to it, especially with working with the company's office side of things and the other entities that we work with, like the Coast Guard, customs, and stuff like that.
So do you anticipate using it in the future? I know for me, I'm like thinking like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, like what will I become? So I guess that's something maybe that's a part of.
Of course, yes. I'm definitely a forward thinker. When I'm in one spot, I'm thinking about 5 steps ahead at all times. So ideally, I would love to go back to school, get my doctorate in marine policy. I'm working on that application currently, and
oh wow,
that's a whole process.
Yes, it is.
And then I would love to be able to teach and really work with those that are coming up in the maritime industry. There's so much you see as a professional that you're like, okay, well, where can I help fill the gaps?
Yes. So what advice would you give to somebody interested in becoming a professional mariner?
To be professional. Do not think that because you're stepping on a ship and you're living there and sleeping there and you're working there that you get to subtract the professionalism because you're at home. So to remain professional at all times, because at all times you are working until you get off the boat. To always try to learn, because when you're not learning, you're not living. So always pursue some kind of advancement in your intellect, in your skill set. Stay current on your industry so that you're not getting phased out. You don't want to be reactive. If you see the industry that you're in is moving towards LNG, liquefied natural gas, or container ships, or tankers, and you're young in the industry and you want to stay here for a few, then get your certificates and get the training that you need to get so that you can continue to be here. Don't, because there's gonna be a time where your company might not be there anymore, and you don't want your job to be built around your company. So
Now
definitely.
that's super smart to make sure that you were staying relevant. So you've mentioned that you went back, you got your master's. Your parents said, "Hey, we're not playing this. Move it along. I'll call you every day."
Yeah.
You've got plans to pursue your PhD. What are some other activities and skills that you could focus on in the meantime, or that you would encourage other young professionals to consider?
So I like the idea of networking, because when you network, you see what's around you and what's available to you. When I was in school, I was a part of the Propeller Club, and the Propeller Club is a professional club that pretty much is based in the industry, and it tells you all about, there's different people that come, and you could listen to them speak and network and meet them and take trips and go on different boats and different companies and stuff like that. So I got an opportunity to broaden my horizons. So like now, when I start looking at other positions at other places, I'm seeing, okay, well, project management is on their job description. Maybe that's a certificate I need to get. I'm taking that class next week.
Okay.
So, and then like if you're part of a union, they have union schools so that you could go to get training to go along with your license. So sometimes I'll look at the union newsletter. Okay, what are they offering when I'm home? Leadership and management, ship handling, cargo cargo loading cargo or whatever, stability. Okay, well, I'm gonna take these classes so that I could just have in my back pocket. And also, it's like I always look at life like Barney bag. Remember Barney?
Yes, I do remember Barney.
Bag. He'd
Like,
put
what's in the bag? Yeah.
He'd have all
See
these.
what we can make today. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, okay, well, what do I need to have in my Barney bag so that I could be prepared for whatever is presented towards me? Because I don't want to miss an opportunity. So, okay, if I got to stay current, I need my STCW to always be current. Where I work, I don't need a STCW. So I got to always be thinking, when is my STCW going to expire? Let me go check on that. And I like also seeing what people not in my industry, what my peers on just like management wise might be doing. Because if you don't want to be in just one little, I don't want to stay in the box. So I always gotta be looking. And okay, so if my peers are doing different trainings to sharpen themselves and technically, and maybe I should do that too. I might not need it on a ship, but I might decide to do ship. Yeah, like, so always taking classes, network, have conversations, even have the uncomfortable conversations with someone you might not know. So yeah.
Yeah, and we got Michelle Fields. She said proper preparation prevents poor performance. Absolutely, Raina. Look, see, you're killing them today. So we've talked about this preparation piece. What did you wish you knew before you started this journey? How could you have prepared better if you'd known?
I wish
what you know now.
The little stuff, so the little stuff that would have lessened my anxiety about sailing. So when I first applied to school, there wasn't that many Black girls at the school. So I was paired with one Black girl, and I was like, well, how do you wear your hair on a boat? Like, I didn't know. And she couldn't answer the question for me. She didn't answer the question, or she couldn't answer the question for me. So I'm sitting there like, I'm not going nowhere where my hair. I'm a little Black girl from the Bronx. I am not going anywhere where there's a chance my hair's gonna look crazy. I need to know.
What to do? Yeah.
I need to. What do I bring on the ship with me? What do I get when I'm there? How do I pack?
Right, like what shampoo am I packing? Am I gonna get off at some point and be able to get more shampoo, or should I be packing for 90 days?
Yeah, and it's stuff like that that is very important to me, And because I've seen it, I see it now from my perspective when we get new deckhands and cadets coming. And I work in a very cold climate sometimes. Once you hit October, it's cold.
How
And
cold?
you could be in the 20s. It could be
Ew.
snow. It could be full blown blizzard snowing in October. So, and that's all the way till March, April, sometimes of the next year. So they'll send deckhands, and deckhands is the lowest position to work on a ship. So they'll send deckhands, or even they'll send anybody from deep sea union halls. And so it'll be in Jacksonville, Florida, Mobile, Alabama, California. It could be all those hot states, and they'll come up living like they were living and dressed and prepared like they're in a hot climate, and come up to our climate and be in complete shock and culture shock. And I'm like, did you bring cold weather gear? You got boots? Do you have winter boots?
Winter boots, yes. There's a difference. There's the cute,
Right.
stylish little riding boots you wear when you're walking around the city, and then there's like you need
winter
layers,
North
with like
and those insulated. You have insulated stuff. Period. It makes your life easier if you do. And it's just, if you don't know and you don't know who to ask, then you're gonna be suffering for a couple of weeks until you get it.
It's like, do you have an extra? No, not really.
Right.
Oh man.
I'm up here if you didn't know. And but some people just don't know. And you're not always gonna have somebody who has compassion and empathy to say, okay, you don't know, well, let me help you. Let me put you to the side and tell you which store to go to or how to order it and get it sent here.
Yeah. Buki makes a great comment here. She says, this is why we need a community like Melanated Mariners to have these kinds of conversations about issues that impact Black people in the industry.
Yes.
Loving this conversation.
Yes. Melanated Mariners is on Instagram.
Cool.
It's definitely, I'd recommend following it. If you got a kid or a teenager that wants to be in the industry, it's a good one because it highlights Black mariners in the industry, across the board, worldwide, in every position. So
that's fantastic. And I think you spoke to some of the things people don't think about, like how am I wearing my hair on this ship? Because you need a wealth of products and things to maintain and not have your hair falling and breaking out.
So you're not to be able to share products with other people. Like I had one guy one time, he had long hair and he's like, Raina, you want my shampoo? I'm about to get off. And I was like, no thanks. my product don't look like 3-in-1 bottle. And it wasn't anything against him. I thought it was real sweet and nice that he offered, but if I'm using Cantu and with the decondition and everything, I might not be able to use the 3-in-1 bottle of shampoo, conditioner, and body wash that somebody else might be.
It'll strip the moisture out of your hair so badly. That's right. not a shady thing. That's like a fun reality.
Yeah, and being the only girl, that happens.
Yeah. Great question from Michelle. She asked, will you be an advocate for getting maritime education in primary and secondary schools?
Absolutely. I would love to be able to do that. I do know of one maritime-based high school in New York City. I know there's others in the country, but I would love to be able to share this information with younger kids because it takes a lot to educate someone on this industry to the point where they can understand and process it and say they want to get into it. There's been so many people who I've run across and they're like, I wish I knew about this. I wish I knew about this when I was younger. And, it's like, well, you can still do it now if you like, but, and it's like, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the industry that you don't have to do on a ship.
Really? Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So you want to be a lawyer? You could be a maritime lawyer. If you want to be if you want to work in the office, you don't want to go on ships, you can work in the traffic department. And that's pretty much saying where each boat is going and why. You can work in You want to do insurance brokering? You could all ships have insurance, so you could sell insurance and insurance brokering for ships. If you want to sell something, you can sell ships. You can sell cargo and do commodities.
That's really cool.
Remember, because ships are part of transportation, and transportation is a part of the supply chain. And so there's multiple ways to get in. I mean, even medicine. You want to be in medicine, you could work on ships as a medical doctor. They have ships that need them. Security, be in IT. Every ships are a part of a regular company. So every piece in that puzzle you can be. You could be a teacher. You could be a welder, electrician, all of that. Carpenter.
I think that's a awesome, like, eye-opening moment for us to know there's so many possibilities to be involved in the maritime industry. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
When I wanted to be several things. So my thing was always about making money. So
young, she's like, look, I need the money.
I need the coins. So when I was like in the 4th grade, I wanted to be a Supreme Court justice. And then I wanted to, somewhere along the line, I got into agriculture and horticulture. I wanted to become a botanist. And then I found out they didn't make that much money. So I was like, okay, next thing. Then I wanted to become, what was it? It was like this, the person that does the picking of the actors. It's like at the tip of my tongue.
Like a producer?
Not a producer, but the person that scouts the actors for.
Oh, like a talent scout? I'm gonna learn something today when we get off and Google it, or if you remember, bring it, because I have no idea.
But then I wanted to just do silent investing and be a business person. Like at the end of the day, I always wanted to own my own business. Always wanted to be a business person and own my own business and run it. And so I started like in high school. My mom gave me the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book.
Oh yeah, I read that book. I love it.
Well, the author graduated from the United States Merchant Marine Academy. That was one of the other reasons why I decided I wanted to go there. So I got into the idea of being an investor, and that was like, okay, I want to do that. So now how do I get the money to invest? Oh, let me go work on ships. And because that's what my mom had to tell me. She was like, oh, they make money. I said, okay, I'll do that job.
That's sweet. Okay, so Buki asked, she said, let's talk about the connection with high schools and elementary school. I'm making some connections with those schools through Melanated Mariners. So I'm sharing this with you, so hopefully you guys can connect offline. But for other people who are interested in connecting with you, can you tell me where they can find you?
Great. They can find me on Facebook. I have RJ Barnes Consulting, which is my Facebook page. You can find me on Instagram, RJ Barnes Consulting there.
Okay. I
have, those two are pretty much, and LinkedIn, always on LinkedIn. Go ahead and connect with me. We could talk about, I could, even if you have questions on the licensing process, on how to jump in point of entry, because the beautiful thing about this industry, you don't need degrees. You can get in with the driver's license. And that's pretty much it.
A driver's license? Wow. I learned something fantastic today.
Yeah. So
Buki rescued us. She said is casting. We were talking about the role earlier.
Casting. I wanted to be a casting director. Thank you, Buki.
Yeah, so she rescued us today. Is there anything else you want to talk about that we didn't talk about? I'm gonna make sure that I drop the links for where we can reach you at the bottom of this when we wrap up, so people can find you.
Well, I am now I've gotten good at doing applications for people and licensing applications, and so if anybody needs help or assistance with the license application part for the United States Coast Guard, even just regular job applications, because they could be intimidating, please reach out to me. with TWIC cards and even just some guidance in how to get into the industry and what you can do or who you could possibly connect with, I'm more than happy to assist. So,
Okay. So it sounds like if anybody is looking for a mentor in this particular industry, Raina is wide open. Reach out to her and connect and ask your questions. And I want to thank you so much for your time today.
thank
It
you.
has been an absolute pleasure. I've learned so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate this opportunity.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. We're out. Raina, hold
Bye.
off. I'm going to close out the broadcast.
Got you.